On the live link and see the news in real time. Do you want to watch the latest video of the day? It's just a click away. Friend us on Facebook, YouTube, follow us on Twitter, Google+, participate in Channels TV poll and share your comments. It's a website you can talk to. Your voice will be heard. ChannelsTV.com. The news at your fingertips.
Welcome back. All our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Visit m.channelstv.com to see us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. We'd also like to urge you to interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android, iOS, and Windows 8 platforms. If you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap the app on your device, swipe to show the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions. The murder of the son of a former chief judge of Benue State has left his grieving family in search of justice. Alechinu Anyebe was found dead in a ditch in Makurdi, the state capital, allegedly shot by armed robbers. However, his mother and widow insist there is something sinister about the circumstances surrounding his death. This special report dwells on the concerns of the late Alechinu Anyebe's family following a petition to the police authorities.
It is hard not to feel the grief of the family of the late Alechinu Anyebe, whose mysterious death has left his family crying out for justice. The young man who left home on the evening of July the 17th to run an errand did not return. The mystery surrounding Alechinu's apparent murder is heightened by the fact that his body was found miles away from his car.
This is where the body of Alechinu Anyebe was found. His head this way, his feet the other side. While his this street is opposite Catholic Youth Center. While his car was found at Buruku roundabout.
This security man was probably the last person to see the young man alive.
Once it is 9, he called me. I said, "Where are you?" He said, "He's in the office." I said, "Okay, since you know my street, Ikeja Street, drive, come down. I will meet you on the road so that I will let him have trackable. You pick me." Yes. He drive his car, meet me on the road, and he pick me. We go to the man's house. The man brought the sheep out. I myself, I lift the sheep with my hand, put it inside boots. He closed it. He removed 1,000 naira and give me, say, we should hear me and the man.
Alechinu's grieving mother and wife believe there is something not quite right about the circumstances of his death.
All of us were calling. One of his phone was not ringing, but one was ringing continuously and nobody was speaking. Finally, the wife, Eunice, tried to call the number. Then one man picked the call. We asked him who was he. He said it's a policeman. I said, "Policeman, what are you doing with my son's phone?"
There are a whole lot of things that are questionable. They said it's a robbery attack. Nothing was taken. His car was found, and you know, robbers would not kill somebody and, you know, try to, without struggle and, you know, arrange the corpse.
They don't believe he was killed by armed robbers.
I don't know what to think, but I know that something is not right. What the police are saying, I don't even know how they made the connection between the car and the corpse, because they were found at two different locations.
I'm saying that there's a foul play. Armed robbers don't operate like that. So I want the authority to investigate the case.
His friends will remember him for his sterling qualities. The late Alechinu Anyebe has since been laid to rest, but law enforcement agencies have been left with the task of getting to the root of his murder and bringing his killers to justice. Charles Aruka for Channels Television News.
To health, and with the increasing spread of the Ebola virus disease, the Kaduna State branch of the Nigerian Medical Association has asked the federal government to review the hazard allowance and insurance cover for health personnel. At a meeting held in Kaduna, the chairman, Dr. Mohammed Ibrahim, insists that health workers run a greater risk of contracting the virus. Meanwhile, in Delta State, the government says though there are no cases of Ebola yet, isolation centers have already been set up in case of any emergency.
It's a month since the Ebola virus disease found its way into the shores of the country. While most of the affected seems to be found in Lagos, other states have no case presently, but they are gearing up for any eventualities. In Delta State, the government has already put up precautionary measures such as setting up isolation centers.
In order to avoid the loss of lives and reduce the economic impact of the probable outbreak, coupled with the fact that Nigerians in general and Deltans in particular are widely traveled, the Delta State government has put into operation the following activities through interventions in the state. The state rapid response team has been enlarged and strengthened, while the local government rapid response team have been reactivated. Personal protective equipment have been earlier pre-positioned in the 25 local government headquarters in readiness for any possible outbreak.
It's a similar scenario in the northern part of the country, but they take a different approach, such as in Kaduna State. Here, medical personnel is raising an alarm over the level of preparedness.
The main fallback is for the health worker, for the medical workers, the medical doctors especially, who I'm seeking for here, and then for other health workers is the hazard allowance. The federal government should be able to give you life insurance as a medical doctor, particularly in such emergency cases. But it's interesting to know also that the hazard allowance in this particular case is 5,000. And that is one of the problems that we have. So in terms of satisfaction, we are really not satisfied, and I think I've stated that clearly. And even in terms of preparedness, if you go into the hospitals, how many hospitals have the protective suits? So we are calling on the government also to ensure that all this equipment, personal protective equipment, are made available in all our hospitals.
Some states seem to be ready while others are not. But with the urgency of the situation required, all hands must be on deck, whether private, public, or even individuals. Everyone must be ready to wage a war against the Ebola virus across the country.
Meanwhile, the Ekiti State government is worried that the discussions around identifying and containing the spread of the Ebola virus doesn't seem to include detention centers and the entire justice system. The Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in the state, Mr. Olawale Fakwunda, in an interview with our judiciary correspondent, Shola Shoyele, says all aspects need to be covered. He believes the starting point may have to be an emergency national security summit so that all agencies of the federal government, including the police, prisons, and all state governments, are on the same page.
Prison population are not locked up and the key is not thrown away. Gone are the days where people just go in prison and stay in prisons. Every day now, because of increasing concerns about access to justice, people are being let out of prisons. So the concern is twofold. First, to make sure that we create a response mechanism for people coming into prisons, to make sure that there is appropriate testing so that they don't come and infect. Now, imagine given the awaiting trial population and the way people are lumped in, persons are lumped in prison. If one person comes to the prison, the whole population is infected.
Yeah, because it's close.
Absolutely. The second is also now to look at the present population and be sure that our present awaiting trial population is Ebola-free. But what is important, I think, overall, that we need to have that conversation. Yes, there's a lot of public education, but we should not forget, the concern, our concern, and the concern of the state government is that, it's a discussion that doesn't seem to look at the justice sector.
Staying with the health sector, the Nigerian Medical Association says there is no going back on its ongoing strike action unless the federal government accedes to their demands. The warning was sounded by the chairman of the Lagos State chapter of the association, Dr. Tope Ojo. At a press conference in Lagos, he listed the demands of the association as reached in the last emergency delegates meeting. He said Nigerian doctors are willing to attend to Ebola victims just as they are attending to victims of Boko Haram attacks in the northern parts of the country.